Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about toys. I recently watched The Toys That Made Us, an 8-part documentary series about the toys that you all know. Plastic creations that lasted for generations and you still cannot let go. Plastic molded figures that gave you big dreams. Netflix went back in time and behind the scenes with The Toys That Made Us. Setting up today's videos, Mattel Toys. Empowering generations through play. One of the many reasons why I believe the Barbie movie was so successful is it gives you a timeline of Barbie from her inception in 1959 all the way up until current day. And Barbie really shifted the culture and, really empowered young women to aspire to maybe seek a career in becoming an astronaut or becoming a doctor or a nurse or a chef or a soldier or anything she wants to be. Also, Barbie has always been around in one form or another. The success of the Barbie movie has now led us to getting this live-action Masters of the Universe movie coming out this summer in June. Masters of the Universe, He-Man specifically, empowered young men with the message that they have the power to be able to choose whatever it is that they want to become. And I really hope that this movie is successful. Compared to Barbie, Masters of the Universe has been on and off for the past 40 years. So I'm really hoping that this movie does well at the box office, otherwise we might not get another one. This is a origin story for He-Man, but enough of my rambling. You clicked on this video to see highlights from the Midwest Toy Show. If you're still watching at this point, I hope that you enjoy and that you like and subscribe. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Jose's Totally Rad Life. Today I am at the Midwest Collectible Toy Show. And we're going to look around at a bunch of the toys. So, alright. One of the first spots here has a bunch of vintage Star Wars figures. You might recognize this. I have this in my room. Alright, you guys, here is a very important piece of Star Wars history. These are some of the first These are some of the very first Star Wars figures that were ever released. Now, you guys gotta remember, or at least take into account, that when Star Wars first came out in 1977, they didn't have the toys ready yet. In fact, not a whole lot of people wanted to even take Star Wars and make Star Wars toys. But then comes in the company from Ohio, Kenner Toys. And these are some of the first figures that Kenner ever made. And with the new Masters of the Universe movie coming out this summer, this is not the first time that they have tried to revamp He-Man to a new generation. So here we have some 2000s era He-Man toys. I am a child of the 2000s. I'm not sure that this really went anywhere, but this is 2000s era He-Man. So it's a 40-year-old property. And man, this right here is making me feel old because I'm a 2000s baby, and just seeing these Nintendo DS's again, it's kind of crazy. But what I wanted to show you guys is this in-box Nintendo Entertainment System with the Nintendo Blaster. It came with the Super Mario Brothers game and Duck Hunt, 2 controllers, and of course the gaming system. And then if you look here on the side of the box, this is more of like an arcade style controller, and then this kind of looks like an Xbox controller. And then we're gonna walk around real quick and take a look at the back of the box. And here's a look at the back of the box, and this is a very famous picture for the promotion of the Nintendo. You got the game system, the controllers, Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros, and then the Nintendo Zapper. Alright you guys, I'm gonna have to start wrapping this video up because there's so much here. You know, I'm never gonna be able to film everything, so I'm gonna have to wrap this one up. Alright, this has been the toy show. I know I didn't really film a whole lot, and that's because it's very overwhelming. There's a lot going on. Alright you guys, before I show you what I got at the toy show, I wanted to show you these DVDs. In my last video, I shared with you guys that my parents shared many of the movies, television shows, toys, and music of their generation with me growing up. So I was a kid in the 2000s, so I have experiences that someone my age would have. But on the other hand, I also have experiences that maybe other people my age may or may not have. So as mentioned in the last video, here is the original copy of Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids on DVD that I watched with my dad that he showed me as a kid. Here is Schoolhouse Rock, the 30th anniversary edition on DVD, The Never Ending Story, and The Dark Crystal. You got Transformers. And from my mom, we got Davy and Goliath and The Secret of Nymph, which are some of my beloved childhood favorites, followed by G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Masters of the Universe, and then some of my favorites, High School Musical, Hannah Montana for the Wii, Sky High, and Madagascar. This is my original Nintendo Entertainment System from 1985, and as I showed you guys at the toy show, I also have the Duck Hunt Super Mario Brothers video game in my collection, as well as the orange Nintendo Zapper that would have came with this back in the day. This is my Masters of the Universe collection. I finally completed it in roughly 2023. I got this Snake Mountain last year at the toy show. And then on that note, on Masters of the Universe, I also want to show you some other things that I got last year at the toy show. Last year at the toy show, I got this vintage E.T. Back to School set. Comes with the pouch, the ruler, eraser, and pencil sharpener. And then I also got these vintage He-Man mini comics. We got the Terror of Triclops, the Menace of Trapjaw, and He-Man meets Ram Man. And then I also got this original 1982 vintage talking Knight Rider car from Kenner. Something that was on my bucket list for a very, very long time was completing my dad's vintage Castle Grayskull from his childhood. And up here, I finally finished it. It has the weapons rack, the elevator, and I'll get it down and show it to you guys. Alright, so here's my dad's childhood Castle Grayskull. We got that gun up top. We got the flag. And then if we open it up here, we will see the ladder, the chair, the trapdoor, the bodysuit, the computer here, the elevator, the weapons rack, and the training dummy. So I very much feel a sense of completion, and I am very happy about that. I've been trying to restore this for a very, very long time, and I'm very happy that I'm able to check this off my bucket list finally. And then the last thing that I picked up was this vintage He-Man figure from 2002, still in box. Here it is next to the brand new He-Man and Battle Cat for the movie. Lastly, very quick here before I wrap this video up, another thing I did not have last year was any sort of way for me to represent myself or my channel. So last summer, I was gifted this jean jacket with my channel's logo on it, and I wore it to the toy show yesterday. And it got me quite a few subscribers. A lot of people really liked it. I want to do a shout out to 3 of the vendors. Thank you to Dark Dominion for allowing me to film at your table. Much appreciated. You can find them on Facebook at Dark Dominion LLC. Once again, that is Dark Dominion LLC. You can also find them on Facebook at Dark Dominion LLC. You can call them at 816-332-0861. Once again, that is 816-332-0861. Dark Dominion does custom 3D printing and cosplay pieces. It's really, really cool stuff. You guys should check it out. And then I want to thank Sonic Dan's Comics and Original Art. You can visit him in his eBay store if you scan this QR code. And then lastly, I want to thank the Millennial Toy Box. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you tune in next time.